Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Carmine Sabia here for Explain America, and it looks like Alvin Bragg could be the one going to prison because of his obsession with Donald Trump. Folks, before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And what I want to talk to you about first, before we get into why Bragg can go to prison, is that Bragg's being sued right now by the Heritage Foundation in two different lawsuits because he's refusing to turn over documentation that shows that he may have had some contact with the White House, with a representative in New York, and with the Justice Department before pursuing his case against Donald Trump. Now, if he didn't do that, which would be totally unethical, if he didn't do that, then why not just turn over any documentation that can prove you didn't do it? I mean, that's what he wants Trump to do, right? He wants Trump to prove a negative. Well, then you prove a negative, Mr. Bragg. Prove that you didn't do it. And now that you won't turn over those paperwork, now that you are going to court over it, now that you're being sued over it and you're fighting this hard, well, then that leaves a really huge question. How involved is the Justice Department in this? How involved is the Democrat Party in this and Democrat politicians? Is the White House involved in this? These are things we need to know. Don't forget, Donald Trump is the leading contender to take on Joe Biden in the presidential election. That's what makes every case against him very, very tricky and very, very suspect at this point. And it looks to a lot of people like a coordinated effort to take Trump out before we get to the election. Now, because of that, this paperwork is very important because it can prove or disprove what's going on. We need to see it. Heritage Foundation is all over it, so there's that part of this story. But there's another part of this story. Alan Dershowitz says that Bragg is not turning over all the required information to the defense. He's holding his cards close to the chest about what he has against Trump in this case. Well, you can't do that. There's laws of disclosure. The defense has to be able to mount a defense. And in order to mount a defense, they need to know what the prosecution has. Because they have to be able to call witnesses that can either refute or at least try to refute what the prosecution has said. Bragg is not providing this opportunity according to multiple sources and according to Alan Dershowitz. But Dershowitz takes it a step further. What he says is there was a crime definitely committed here. A serious felony was committed here, but it wasn't committed by former President Donald Trump. See, when the district attorney's office leaked that Trump was indicted in the very beginning of this case, before we knew about the indictments for sure, when it was leaked to the media that Trump would be indicted, that's where a felony was committed. And the most likely source of the felony, according to Dershowitz, comes from inside Bragg's office. And Dershowitz suspects that the person who leaked the information was Alvin Bragg himself. If that is the case, and we're not making that claim, Dershowitz is making that claim. But if that is the case, then Dershowitz says, and he's correct, that Bragg could face up to 5 years in prison for leaking that kind of information. See, you can't do that. You can't actually put things out about a case before the case is unsealed because you could tamper with the jury pool. You could tamper with the grand jury. You could tamper with the jury in the case. You're doing all kinds of things by making such a statement, by leaking such information. That's why it's illegal, and that's why you can't do it. If Bragg did that just to kind of flout his own personal profile, well, then he could be the one behind prison bars, and wouldn't that be sweet justice? Folks, I want to thank you again for joining us here at Explain America. Once again, I'm Carmine Sabia. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.